Hi, everybody. My name is Sabith Khan, and I am an assistant professor at California Lutheran University, and also, interestingly, an alum of Virginia Tech. I went to SPIA and graduated from my PhD in planning, governance, and globalization in 2015. And so it's good to be teaching this course at my alma mater. I'm excited to be offering this course, study abroad course in Oaxaca, Mexico. So it was a combination of things, Laura. It was both personal interest and also a research project that I completed, which led to finishing a book which was published by Routledge in 2020, August of last year. And I realized that I had met a lot of people. I had, of course, spent a significant time in Oaxaca, Mexico, as well as in India, where the book is based. So it's based in two countries, and so I felt that was the time to do something with these connections and with the knowledge and resources that I had gained. And I felt maybe now is the time to launch a study abroad program. And I said, let's start closer home to the US, which is Mexico, and hence the idea. Sure, that's a interesting question. I mean, there are two reasons primarily. One is because I knew, or I still know Roman from my days at Syracuse. We went to Syracuse University at the same time. We overlapped. I think he was at ESF, which is the School of Environmental and Social Forestry, which sort of overlaps a lot with Syracuse University. And I recall perhaps we took some classes together as well. So we've also stayed in touch over the years, and I've heard his reputation sort of, in the travel space. He was also involved a lot in international education, even during this. I'm speaking more than 10 years ago. So in that sense, it was good to again work with someone I've known for the years, someone who's very deeply involved in Latin America and global issues in general. So I felt comfortable and confident that any programming that we do together will be of very high quality and also steeped in the history and culture of the region, which is very important for me as a faculty member to ensure that we are offering something which is of high quality. As with any programming, you really start with defining the learning objectives, like what are you trying to achieve and what experiences do you want your students to have once they are there, and of course after they come back, what do you want them to take away from this. And I think for me, the first step really was to figure out, of all the learning objectives that one could have, was to really narrow down and focus on maybe 3 or 4 of them, which is really the first step in even designing this course. I'd say the biggest thing is be ready for surprises. I don't think anyone was expecting a global pandemic, which has impacted millions and millions of people around the world. So yeah, be prepared for surprises, shocks, even. And related to that, I'd say the second point is be flexible and be adaptable. That again goes without saying. In today's world, we need to be, prepared for any kinds of challenge that comes our way. Thirdly, also have the humility to accept feedback from all quarters. Both from the university side and maybe even the students who are, who may have some very good ideas actually. We've had to make a lot of changes in terms of things that we can do and would like to do. And again, we also ask the students to be a little more flexible, because we might plan for something and the ground reality might be different, right? For instance, if there are closures of certain places we want to go to, unlikely that it won't happen. But I think in the event it does, for unforeseen reasons, I think one has to be prepared for that. But we are hoping that everything will go as planned. And I think working with uncertainties is something which will become the norm, I think, in study abroad more generally. Sure, for me, it would be re-establishing, reconnecting with many of the people I met. It would be good to, revisit some of the places that I've been to and refresh, my memory, refresh my ideas, and also learn how people in Oaxaca are dealing with the pandemic, and especially patterns of migration have changed a little bit. I've been reading and following having conversations with people who study Mexico in general and Oaxaca in particular. So it would be good to see how things are progressing. Personally, as a scholar, for students, I think many of them, or most of them actually, are going to Oaxaca for the first time. So I hope to provide them with a good overall perspective of the place, a little bit of the context, a little bit of the history, and of course help them understand migration patterns, how remittances are changing to Oaxaca. What does it mean, with all of this, and how can they sort of refine their understanding of this, wonderful and rich country, and also this particular region, which is very, very important for migration to the US and North America. So I think I'm hoping, and I'm pretty positive that students will come away after this trip with a very, very solid and rich understanding of Mexico as a country and its relation to the US, with this lens that I'm providing of migration and remittances.